Hello everyone, it's Garrett Stewart here with Keller Williams Group 1 in Reno, Nevada. We just finished up the October market and looked at the numbers to see what happened for the month. Let's dive in and look at the very interesting numbers on what's happening in the real estate market here in Reno and Sparks. Let's take a look. Jumping right into property prices, as always, we're going to look look what happened. We went up again. So we were at $395,000 for September, and it went to basically $400,000 for October. And looking at that on a year to or over the last 13 months, remember on our the monthly video last month for the numbers, I said look at October, it went up for 2018. We'll see if that happens for 2019. And look at that, we did. Not as dramatically, but we did go up. So always really interesting to see how those numbers reflect and look at the patterns as they compare from year to year. Days to contract. Now this is one of the slides that's really interesting. We're watching closely to see what's happening because you can see we hit 62 days. And with the 62 days to contract, that is, again, the day you put your home on the market to the day you accept an offer. And month over month, so from September to October, it went up 18%. And from October 2019 to October 2019 to October 2018, it went up 37%. So big jump. You can see we were at 48 days to contract last October. So a little bit more significant there. Homes have been taking a little bit longer to sell. Now, there's a few different theories out there, and we can chat about that if you want. Just give me a call. Now, looking at it in terms of price, because depending on the price point, it's going to depend how likely a home is to sell, how quickly it's going to sell. And you can see that the two ends, if you remember watching my video last month, they were way up there. They did drop down because those end units are not as many sales. They can range very dramatically. So month to month, you're going to see them change. So now you can see the $100,000 to $200,000 is only 20 days to contract. So that was probably one sale. Now, looking at the rest of the numbers, you can see pretty much everything jumped up a few extra days. What was really interesting is the 1.5 million plus did go down. That was over 100 days last month. And so that did drop down, but pretty much everything else, I think the only other one that did drop down on this slide was the $300,000 to $400,000 range. I think it was 45 days last month and dropped down to 42 days. So sold a little bit quicker then. And that's because it's a such high demand price range right now. Taking a look at the active inventory with sales and new homes coming on the market, you can see that inventory did drop pretty significantly. Looking at it, you can see that we're at 1,129 active inventory. That's homes that were for sale in October. Comparing that to the previous month of 1,330. And compared to August, it was basically 1,400 homes were on the market then. So homes are starting to come off the market. Part of the reason we are going into winter, but looking at it year over year, where we were last October, it's down 21% than we were last October. So there's 21% less homes that were for sale in October 2019 versus 2018. So it's a great opportunity if you are looking to sell your home. There are less competition on the market right now, which is a great opportunity for you. And even though the sales did drop as well, not as dramatically, and that's reflected right here on the month supply of inventory. Now, again, a refresher on what that means is if we stopped every home coming on the market today, say November 1st, no more homes came on the market, then with that case, it would take 2.1 months for everything to be sold. That's what this graph says here. And every single home would be sold. Now, realistically, that probably wouldn't happen, but that's just showing with the sales to inventory and finding out that ratio. But looking at it in a perspective of price range, you can see that what price ranges are in the seller's market and what are in the buyer's market and what's a balanced market. So anything below the 5-month mark is considered a seller's market. So you can see pretty much everything but two two price ranges is in a seller's market. What was really interesting is the 1 to 1.5 million was last month in a balanced market, and now it's considered a seller's market again. And then we do have the 750 to a million in a balanced market. That's 5 to 7 months. I like to show a little bit of what's happening nationally, and you can see, so this is on a national scale. It is backdated an extra month, so we're looking at September's numbers on this one. And you can see that inventory did go up a little bit. A month supply of inventory did go up just 0.1 for September on a national scale. So always good to see what's happening on a national level and know what's happening there. Now this slide looks a little bit different from you. If you've been watching my previous market update videos, it was the one with the sun and the rainbow and clouds and stuff like that. Changed around, more data for you just to see, plain and simple. And essentially, so here's the Sparks numbers broken down. On the far right side here, you can see the raw data, the actual numbers. And then just to the left of that, you see the percentage change, and that's from last month. So that's looking at September of 2019. And then if you look over on the left side, you can see that percentage changes, the green and red percentage changes are from last October, 2018. So it's a great way to see comparing all those different ones. I really like how this shows, and we're getting a little bit more information here. So some things I want to point out though is, first of all, $365,000 is the median home price for Sparks. That's 3.5% up year over year. But some of the more interesting ones was the days to contract year over year is up 21% and over 10% month over month, so from September. On top of that, you can look at the active inventory is way down, so no surprise there. We've been talking about that already. So some interesting statistics here. What's more fascinating is actually the Reno. Take a look at Reno here. Now, price went down for Sparks. Well, median home price went up for Reno, and the units sold went up as well. And look at the year-over-year sales. So sales went down for Sparks last month, but they went up for Reno. And looking year-over-year is 24% up. So very interesting numbers looking at this. You can also see the month supply of inventory is down to 2 months for Reno. And what's really, really fascinating is the days to contract on this one. 66 days to contract is up 40% since last October. Big change. So I do want to say, you know, homes aren't selling as fast as they were. There's some, like I said, there are some theories out there, and we can chat about that if you are looking at buying or selling, and see if that's going to be the right move for you. But yeah, very interesting to see this data displayed for you. Threw in a new slide for you on this one, and this is a, so many people with affordability that's happening in Reno, making sure that people can find something that they're able to purchase and afford, and just start building out their equity. Maybe they can't buy that $400,000 home quite yet, but a great way to get there is start building equity now to get there in the future. And a great way to do that is buy a condo or townhome. You do have to look at the HOA fees, but there are some really affordable ones out there. And the median home price is $235,000 for a condo townhouse. And so again, with that being median, that means half of them are under that price range, which is really cool. That means you can get a condo or townhouse for under $200,000 still in Reno. It might be a 1 or 2 bedroom. It might not be huge, but that's what we're going to get together and meet and look at the options for you. So some great opportunities there, and you can see the rest of the data on the display here if you want. But if that is something of interest to you, let's get together and chat about that if affordability is an issue for you. Taking a look at our favorite subject, interest rates, we've hammered in the topic of how low they've been. They did do a little blip up recently, but they are still very low. You can see over the last, since 2016, they've been dropping since that big peak earlier at the end of last year, essentially. Now, one thing I do really want to emphasize as well is look at where we're going. They are forecasted to go up just a little bit, nothing dramatic. And then towards the end of next year, we're going to start to see them probably go up a little bit more. We're going to look at the exact number shortly, but it's a great opportunity to see that, hey, interest rates might not stay around forever. They range all the time. So if you are considering buying, you know what they are today. We don't know what they are going to be tomorrow. So if you are looking at buying, let's chat about that and take advantage of the low interest rates that are happening today and not risk what they could be tomorrow. Now, looking at what's forecasted, these again are forecasts. They can change. I mean, they're different numbers forecasted than they were last month. If you look at these numbers, they were actually lower forecasted last month. They did raise them a little bit. So breaking down all the numbers, though, you can see that they are slowly ranging upwards. And what's going to be really interesting to see is, as we are, we're a year, almost just about a year away from the election now, what's going to happen as we lead up to that election? It's last time we did see interest rates spike after that. You saw that in that last graph a couple of slides back, where we've seen some spikes in there. We could see that again. We don't know, so we're going to see and watch what happens. But that's something to not risk if you are seriously looking at buying a home in the next 12 months. I just wanted to finish off and say, it is Thanksgiving time. I hope you and your family and friends have a wonderful Thanksgiving. Hopefully you can spend some time and think about what you're grateful for. For me, I'm grateful for everyone that watches these videos every month. I do it for you. And it really is great to hear feedback from you when I do get comments and say, hey, I really like your content. So I am really grateful for what you do for my channel, and I really appreciate that. So thank you so much. Happy Thanksgiving. If you have any other questions on the real estate market, you can reach me at the number below. Give me a call, a text, or you can just send me an email, message me on YouTube here. I'd be happy to help you out. Thank you again, and feel free to click on any of my videos over here on the side if you want to watch more. Happy Thanksgiving.